Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about parameter queries now. If you remember back in chapter 3, we spent a little time building a calculation and made sure that some of the input we were trying to use was incorrect. Part of that was to show you the importance of making sure you have information correct when you're trying to build a calculation. But if you remember when we ran it, the query would pop up a box and ask for some input. That is an example of a parameter query. So now what we can do though is we can use those to solicit input from the user at the time when the query is run, so we don't have to create and hard code a specific criteria when we want to try to have a search of the data. So let's create a query. So we're just going to go and we will create a query design. We're going to use the animals table. So we will add it in. And we're just going to take the basic information here. Age, date found, spayed and neutered, notes. Okay, so we have a basic query. You can see here that we can get information on the different types of animals. Now what we'll do is create a parameter query. What we do is we prompt the user for information. So the criteria for animal type is going to be, we'll open bracket and close it. Now when we go to run it, we'll get a box here that says bring in the animal type. We type in cat, and suddenly we now have only the cats from that query. We go back, we run it again, it'll ask us again. And we can put in anything and we'll get what we want out of it. So very easy to do. It's a great way that we can get the specific information that the user wants. Now what we can do is let's just go ahead and save this. And what we're going to do is let's make a change. You can also use it for other information. So for example, for the date found, well, we can sit there and just have it for all dates, or we can say, for example, we want to know all the animals that were taken in a specific month. So what we can do, or a time period. So we can actually just say the criteria for this is between, and then we say enter start date and enter end date. Notice that they are in brackets. The square brackets, that tells Access that this is a parameter query, and to go ahead and try that. So now what we can do is it'll run it and say enter the start date. We're going to say 8/1/2014. That's based upon the data that's in the database. And the end date, well, we'll look at the end of August, 8/31/2014. And we will have that in there. This is going to show us all of the ones that are done by the date found in August of 2014. We can then go back in if you wanted to. We could sort this. We can actually put the parameters in for multiple things. So enter animal type. And now when we run it, it'll ask us the animal type. So we want to have the cats that were taken in between August 1st, 2014 and August 31st. And we can keep doing that. Now the big thing you want to watch out though is that you don't want to put too many requirements in here or it's going to overload the user. So that could be a real problem. We can also use this in a query. So let's highlight animal query that we created and we'll go to create and we will create a report. And it's open right now, so we just need to close the query. We didn't want to change it. Now what we'll do is we'll create a report and it'll ask us, what's the type of animal? Put it in. It's now running the query, creating the report, and filling it in. So if we just save that as your animal report and go ahead and close it. If we open the animal report again, it's going to ask us for the type of animal. If we try putting it in an animal that does not exist, course, we'll get a report of nothing, so it has a null data results.